Hello everyone, and welcome to our channel. Today we'll take a fascinating journey, an exploration that could change the way you view your daily life. Imagine holding an ancient key, smooth from centuries of use, and trying it in the invisible lock of your day. I'm not asking you to believe in anything esoteric, just to observe what happens when you turn it calmly, as you do with objects that truly matter. This key is the Emerald Tablet, a 1,000-year-old text that, despite its age, offers incredibly practical and timely wisdom. The Emerald Tablet is not just a historical relic or a mysterious alchemical artifact. It is a tiny text, a handful of sentences, surviving translations and fires, yet capable of behaving like a precious mineral. If you change the angle of the light it reflects back changes. For centuries, it has inspired philosophers, scientists, and mystics, from Isaac Newton to Carl Jung, all fascinated by its ability to unite what we usually separate: the high and the low, the inside and the outside, the idea and the gesture. Today, we won't study it as a simple ancient document. We'll use it as a tool for living work, the kind that begins the very moment you decide to organize your mind, your actions, and your relationships. This video is designed for anyone who wants to improve their life, find greater clarity, and make concrete changes without getting bogged down in complex theories. Get ready to discover how this ancient wisdom can become your practical guide. The first word the Emerald Tablet offers you is correspondence. This isn't a magic wand that makes everything the same, but a powerful invitation to seek profound resonances that produce real fruit in your life. It's the famous Hermetic principle: as above, so below, as below, so above, which suggests that there is harmony and connection between all levels of existence. Think about it. If the sky above drew constellations to help sailors find their way, below, you can draw small constellations of habits to guide you amid the noise of the day. There's nothing esoteric about taking 5 minutes to tidy up your desk before starting to write an important project. This gesture is the echo below of a principle above: mental clarity and inner order. A tidy environment often reflects an orderly mind, and vice versa. If the echo isn't heard, if the gesture doesn't bear measurable fruit, more precision, more kindness, more responsibility, then it isn't correspondence. It's superstition. The first, and perhaps most difficult act, is intellectual honesty. Stop telling yourself stories and test against reality what really works and what doesn't. This means carefully observing the consequences of your actions and thoughts and adjusting your approach accordingly. The second key word is transformation. Don't think of fireworks or sudden drastic changes. Think instead of a laboratory with a clean bench and a few simple instruments, where matter isn't a static block, but a continuous process. The ancient alchemists said solve et coagula, meaning dissolve and bind. This concept is incredibly powerful for our daily lives. In practice, this translates into two twin gestures: letting go of what has become inert and no longer serves you, and integrating, that is, patiently reconnecting, a more alive and present-focused gesture. Letting go can mean abandoning that habit that no longer nourishes you, that way of speaking that doesn't serve you, or that useless resentment that weighs you down. It's not easy, but it's liberating. Integrating, on the other hand, means adopting new practices that lead you toward the person you want to be. Transforming isn't about tearing up the page of your life. It's about rewriting it better, keeping what's solid and improving the rest. Sometimes a small entrance and exit ritual is enough to mark these transformations. For example, lighting a candle at the beginning of a deep work and blowing it out at the end, to mark the time and the intention. Or taking a sip of water as if it were sacred, savoring the present moment. Or taking 3 counted breaths before sending an important message, to ensure it's thoughtful and kind. Small things build big things, just like nails hold together a solid house. The third word is operativity. This is the litmus test of all wisdom. If an idea doesn't become action, It remains lucid and sterile rhetoric, a nice thought that produces no change. If an action doesn't bear fruit, it wasn't the right idea yet, or it wasn't the right time. This is why ancient wisdom doesn't limit itself to indicating profound meanings. It asks you to act, to measure, to adjust your aim. The gold of language, beautiful words, and grand intentions become the gold of character only when they enter the crucible of daily life, when they are put to the test in reality. There's no need for solemn ceremonies or grand proclamations. What's needed is faithfulness to small daily actions. A measured breath, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, each for the same count, before making an important decision. A notebook in which to rewrite, in your own words, the phrase that struck you, to make it your own. An honest phone call you've been putting off for too long, to resolve a situation. Hermeticism in this sense is not an escape to the heights, a detachment from reality. It is the way in which the higher, your highest principles and values enter the lower, into your daily life, without breaking or breaking you. It is the art of making concrete and tangible what would otherwise remain abstract. You may be wondering where that voice attributed to Hermes Trismegistus comes from, and why you should listen to it now. Hermes Trismegistus is a hinge name, a legendary figure linking the Egyptian god Thoth, patron of writing and knowledge, and the Greek god Hermes, messenger of the gods and keeper of secrets. Texts attributed to him, such as the Emerald Tablet, were preserved in Arabic and Latin manuscripts that circulated throughout Mediterranean ports, influencing cultures and thought for millennia. Philology debates, as is right, the authenticity and exact origin of these texts. But practice answers simply, does it work? Does it make you more whole? Does it improve the way you treat those you love and the work you produce? If the answer is yes, you can allow yourself the luxury of not knowing everything about everything, and the duty to put what you understand to good use. This is not relativism, but responsibility. In an age of hasty and superficial opinions, the tablet teaches you to distinguish in order to unite. Not everything is worth everything, but many different things can work together if you arrange them well, creating a harmonious system. Now, how can we bring this wisdom into our daily lives? Try incorporating it into your day like a golden thread into the rough texture of a fabric, to embellish it. Choose a quality you want to honor today. Truth, care, courage, moderation, kindness. Not an exhaustive list of virtues, but just one to focus on. Then ask yourself what gesture corresponds to it here and now. Not tomorrow, not when you have time, but now. It could be that phone call you've been putting off, the 10 minutes to organize your work tools, or 20 minutes of deep work with notifications turned off. Listen to the tone you want to inhabit. A calm breath, a gentle voice, a non-reactive gaze. Offer the fruit of this gesture to someone, a specific person, a project, a place. Thus the highs subside and the lows rise, without the need for proclamations or grand gestures. In the evening, don't judge yourself. Be a witness. What resonated? Where did you force it? What, in a small way, brought peace or effectiveness? If you can't immediately find the words, look for sensations. A less tense back, a broader gaze, a clearer sentence. Transformation often makes no noise. It removes friction, not adds light. It's a subtle but profound process. In applying this wisdom, there are 3 classic pitfalls that are easy to fall into. Being aware of them helps us avoid them. The first is escapist spiritualism, seeking the high to avoid bearing the low. It's recognizable by a neglected body, a graying home, and promises that slip from week to week. It's the tendency to take refuge in lofty concepts to avoid the responsibilities and challenges of material life. The remedy lies in practice, a daily correspondence between principle and action, brief enough to succeed, a small concrete step every day. The second is anxious literalism, pretending that every symbol has a fixed and universal meaning, as if life were an instruction manual. Symbols are polyphonic. They have a recognizable theme and many variations. The rule is simple. For me, today, in this context. Tomorrow, I'll check again. Don't seek definitive answers, but be open to personal and contextual interpretation. The third pitfall is passive consumption. Devouring books, podcasts, videos, and posts without metabolizing anything. It's the accumulation of information without practical application. Here, the cure is a living notebook. For every page read, a sentence rewritten in your own words and a minimal action attempted. Thus, knowledge ceases to be decoration and returns to being a tool, becoming an integral part of your being. Let's see how to apply these principles to concrete situations in your life. If you have a meeting that worries you, let's take the board and place it on the table. At the top, the principle is truth with respect. At the bottom, prepare 3 key points to make and a sincere question to ask to foster dialogue. Internally, maintain calm breathing and an open posture. Externally, the goal is the well-being of the team and the quality of the project. After the meeting, ask your body, did I speak less but better? Was the room clearer and more human? Did the result improve? If the topic is a tense emotional relationship, don't rush to react. High, faithfulness to the other person's good, which doesn't always coincide with your own reasoning. Low, postponing the discussion for 24 hours to avoid getting burned, writing a short and polite letter, asking to be listened to before responding. Inside, cultivate a gentleness that isn't surrender, but inner strength. Outside, the goal is the home climate, the trust that slowly heals. For blocked creativity, replace heroism with consistency. Dedicate 25 minutes to draft without judgment, and then 5 minutes to tidy up your workspace. This modest gesture opens the door that anxiety closes. Don't wait for inspiration, but create the conditions for it to arrive. Every now and then, let your breath line things up. Try square breathing. Count 4 on the inhale, 4 on the hold, 4 on the exhale, 4 on the hold. Listen to how the air, in that simple rhythm, smooths the sharp edges of thoughts. There's no magic, but physiology rewarded by consistency. If anxiety rises, go back to 3. If you get distracted, return to the number. Repeat. It's a guidepost for curvy days, a way to find your center. And when you begin or finish a task, mark the threshold with a gesture. Light and blow out a candle. Place your palm on a cup of water. Close your eyes for 3 blinks. The brain loves boundaries. They help it avoid mixing everything with everything else. They save it from the flat sea of indistinct hours. These micro-rituals create sacred spaces in your day, moments of awareness that interrupt automatism. Perhaps you're wondering if all this isn't just psychology with an old veneer. The short answer is that the best psychology is often ancient wisdom in a new language, and the best wisdom is that which isn't averse to being measured. Whether you call it a symbol or a diagram, an image or a map, the crucial question remains the same. Is this way of seeing things making me more truthful, kinder, more effective? Does it make me say fewer words and choose better ones? Does it help me see others as a whole, not as obstacles? If the answer is even partially yes, continue. If not, remove it, readjust it, try another angle. The table is a pair of glasses, not an idol. It's useful as long as it helps you see better, as long as it offers you a clearer and more useful perspective. To consolidate this practice, create a small personal atlas. On a page of your notebook, draw 2 axes, high-low, inside-outside. Every morning, write 4 lines, the principle you choose to honor, the corresponding gesture, the state of mind you want to cultivate, the beneficiary you identify. In the evening, witness. Don't judge, but observe and note. Each week, circle the words that come back and let yourself choose the one that resonates with you. Draw a simple sigil, a figure that reminds you of it without needing to read it, and place it where your gaze falls. It has no magical power. It has mnemonic power, which in real life is the magic you need. If your gesture slackens, the sigil recalls it. If your voice rises, the sigil lowers it. If your mind gets tangled, the sigil straightens it like straightening a crooked photograph. Some days you may feel nothing. There are gray hours when your practice seems empty. That's where the path is set. Not because the heavens reward you with a vision, but because you, quietly, confirm your loyalty. Loyalty is the dam that collects the scattered rain of motivation. When a good day returns, the channel will already be open. And sometimes you may seek connections where there aren't any, or you may force connections out of a desire for control. It doesn't matter. Correct course. 3 simple criteria keep you on the right track. Clarity. You'll understand it tomorrow. Sobriety. It doesn't inflate the ego. Verifiability. It bears observable fruit. If one of these 3 is missing, breathe, lighten up, and start again, taking a smaller step. At the heart of it all is a minimal promise. Maximal promises are beautiful and usually useless. Minimal promises shift the world a millimeter at a time, which is the only way worlds truly shift. When all this becomes natural, you discover that the Emerald Tablet speaks of nothing but you in relation to the world. The above is not somewhere else. It is your best idea of yourself. The below is not an underground. It is the ground floor where you live. The inside is not a refuge. It is the room of decisions. The outside is not a threat. It is the field where decisions are seen. The key doesn't work magic. It opens what you are already ready to enter. Ultimately, the miracles of the one thing aren't fireworks. They're small convergences where, for 5 minutes or 5 gestures, what you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do come together. There, the world starts moving again seamlessly, like a clock reassembled by a patient craftsman. Now it's your turn. Don't let this wisdom remain just an idea. Choose a principle, a gesture, a state of mind, and a beneficiary for today. It could be counting your breath 4 by 4 before a difficult decision, rewriting in your own words a sentence that struck you, or making that honest phone call you've been putting off. If you've made that deal even just once today, cherish it. Do it again tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, teach it to someone with an example, not a lecture. Leave a comment below and share what small gesture you've chosen to make today to apply the wisdom of the Emerald Tablet. Your experience can inspire others, and if you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss our upcoming content. So the key passes from hand to hand without losing its luster, and the door never closes the way it used to. Thanks for following along.